Cheryl, I mean, now that you're at the helm of this team, I mean, how is it different for you, if at all, going from an assistant to the head coach of this program?
It's really different. I always say being an assistant coach is really easy. You show up and you make suggestions and you go sleep at night. Head coach, you don't. It's not as easy, and you're trying to accomplish a lot of things with a group, and whether it's utilization of your coaches or trying to make sure that schematically we're allowing the players to show off their very best while the selection committee's here. So there's a lot that goes through it for someone that's just trying to lead the whole thing.
Obviously, these are some of the 15, 16 best players in the world. I mean, I'm sure you probably don't have to do as much, maybe skill-wise, but managing personalities, how does that factor in coaching a team like this?
I think it's a little bit less of that
Okay.
in terms of like when I think about managing a WNBA team, because it's the time that you're spending with them is so much less that you really get the best of players. It's a short period of time. I always say this, that when you go for much longer, you start to see the warts of everything.
Sure.
And so you don't really get to the wart part of players or coaches. That part's much easier. And there's an expectation when you're with USA Basketball. There's a certain way you're going to do things, and if you're not going to be a selfless player and recognize that what you do for the WNBA team may not be what we need you to do here, that's important to be selected as one of the 12 players. And so that's the job of a selection committee, to identify those things. And I'm having fun just trying to scheme in a way that they're having fun in what they're doing and they feel like they're just playing.
What's some of the main the things you're trying to get out of this camp in particular? What do we want to see out of this group and hoping to take away by the time camp's over?
The staples, their identity. Every time we're together, you've got to make sure you hit your staples. And anybody that watches in the World Cup, we want to play with a great pace. The way you do that is you play great defense and you get your early offense. And we were terrific in Sydney in that area. And so while today didn't necessarily demonstrate a whole lot defensively, the offense is harder. And so we spent a little more time in our identity offensively. It's a group that if you look at the roster, we have a chance to space the floor more. There's less block play. And so that's fun in terms of, the group that's here. And I think just in terms of generally speaking, the identities for 3 days, we want to make sure all 3 of those days we hit those main things.
Do you let yourself kind of feel the weight of the pressure? Because that's kind of with a team like this, it's pretty much gold medal or bust.
Yeah. I think that part's, right now it's, we're in preparation mode. Certainly when you're, when it's go time at the World Cup and you enter the medal rounds, there's a level of excitement around that. I really feel it's really important that the players that are doing it this time, whoever they end up being, that they have their own experience. They weren't a part of the other 7. And so I don't want to bring that into their experience. They understand. They understand the culture that we're standing on. They have high expectations as well. But it's a separate experience. And I want the experience that we're having in this particular one to be really special for them.
In a training camp event like this, how important is it to just simply build chemistry with one another?
And we talked about that, and building chemistry quickly. That's the name of the game for the USA, because we don't get a lot of time together. I believe we have 4 before we play in Paris, and so this is one of them. And we're still, obviously the committee is still going through, who might be on the team. And so we talked about how do you build chemistry quickly. And the way that you do that is you have to give of yourself and you have to communicate. You have to give yourself up and communicate and connect with the person next to you. That's what we try to share with them, and that's what we were successful at in Sydney.
We were just talking to Diana a moment ago, and she's worn the jersey so many times. So how much do you lean on a veteran presence like that for a group like this?
I think right now, not a whole lot. I think Diana's given the players that are here more space to step into, not kind of conceding to her, because that would be easy to do, right? We're looking at Dee. She's done this, and Dee has a great recognition of how to let others kind of step forward and not feel like they're stepping on anybody's toes, and she's good to have here because from a humor standpoint, but it's fun to be around. And yeah, she said she couldn't wait to do another shell drill, so she was excited about that. And we didn't put her in a shell drill today, but players get to be, is she 40? And players get to be 40. They don't want to see another shell drill. They don't want to see another. They want to get to the good stuff. But Dee's been great, and I can't remember the last time that Dee participated fully in a practice like the practice we just had. So that was really good to see.
How is Phee look?
Phee looks good, and I was really excited about that because it's my first time seeing Phee since the end of the season. She's worked really hard. She's got to get her legs under her, what you expect. This is the most playing that Phee has done again since the season. So this is a really good week for her to kind of get that conditioning and then hopefully keep it and then be ready when camp starts in April.
How have you seen the rest of the world catch up to where you guys are, especially this year? It used to be, you guys go out there, you win by 30, 40, but how's the rest of the world starting to catch up to you?
Well, I think it's just like you see in college basketball, that when you have maybe somebody that's been the leader out in front, everyone tries to figure out how to close that gap. And so it's been years of closing the gap. Depth of talent, I think, has grown. I think having professional leagues, players are playing at a younger age, so the skills happening faster. And I think that that's probably the biggest thing is just when UConn and Tennessee for all those years were sort of the gold standard, and now look, you have to have that. You have to have that rabbit, so to speak, that people are chasing. And so the whole level of the game has gone way up as a result of it.
You used the word fun earlier. Do you allow yourself to have fun in this setting?
Oh, absolutely. I have a lot of fun being a part of USA Basketball. A lot of fun. Yeah, and I really want them to have fun. This is a different experience than maybe a 5-month grind of a season, and maybe I look like I'm not having fun. But it's different. It's a different experience, and yeah, when we walk away, like I always want a team that's, when they're playing, you see the joy that they're playing with. I don't ever want a feeling of, the players just look like they're not having fun. And that's especially true here with USA Basketball.